Hello everyone, Rotary Swing Tour Instructor Craig Morrow here, taking a look at Rory Mcilroy and Ian Poulter, number 1 and 2 on PGAtour.com's Ryder Cup Power Rankings. And today we're going to be talking about a few key differences in their backswing, which is keeping Rory at number 1, and what you can do at home to make your golf swing more efficient and fundamentally sound. The first thing that I want to talk about today is how Roy differs in taking the club back versus Ian. If you take a look at Roy on the left-hand side of the screen, what I want you to notice is that Rory uses a lot of his rotation to take the club back. At the completion of the takeaway, I want you to notice how big a shoulder turn Rory has and how his right arm has remained nice and straight, which has allowed him to use the big muscles to swing the club back. That's how you're going to start to build power in the backswing. That's how you're going to have a nice, consistent one-piece takeaway. If you take a look at Ian on the right-hand side of the screen, Ian tends to be more arm dominant. As Ian takes the club back, what happens is Ian tends to fold his right arm very early. And when you fold the right arm very early, you're going to tend not to use your rotation to take the club back. That's why you're going to notice that the rotation that Ian has at the completion of the takeaway is way less than Rory on the left-hand side of the screen. It's one of the things that can lead to a little bit of inconsistencies, but it's also not starting to store power going back. If you want to store some power, you've got to use those big muscles off the ball and make sure that you get rotating off the ball. It's very vital. From here to the top, because Rory's done a very good job at rotating in the takeaway, he continues to rotate to complete his golf swing. He continues to pull back with that right shoulder blade. He continues to build that X factor or build torque going back. The hips have rotated very minimally, but he's got a ton of shoulder rotation. So that all he's doing is just building up good torque to be able to transfer on the downswing. Ian on the right-hand side of the screen tends to finish the swing with the arms, and that's because of the lack of rotation off the ball and the using of the arms off the ball with the fold of the right arm. You'll notice that with Ian, from this position here, if you just watch his right shoulder, you'll notice how Ian just kind of pushes the arms or lifts the arms to the top. The right shoulder hardly moves, and all he's doing is effectively placing the club. And when you effectively place the club at the top, it's not a very consistent way to get it there. But also, you're not really storing any energy. You're not really building that X factor or really building up any torque on the backswing. When you're just swinging arms, the body's just kind of going along for the ride. He's not really dictating what the club needs to do. And one way to build good power or build good torque in the backswing is you've got to make sure that you're rotating, that you're engaging the big muscles, not just swinging the arms. And that's why Rory on the left-hand side of the screen is in a really good position to create some effortless club head speed on the way down. And Ian's going to have to use a little bit more of his size and strength to create club head speed on the way down. And then the last thing that I want to mention is if you take a look at Rory on the left, you'll notice that he still has some flexion in his right knee. Well, the flexion being maintained in Rory's right knee has allowed him to stabilize his hip rotation by keeping his right glute engaged, really storing energy on that side. One of the reasons he's able to build good torque, but also he's going to be able to take this energy and really use some leverage from the ground, making sure that he's pulling all the forces that he can to maximize what he does with his release through the ball. Versus if you take a look at Ian on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll notice how he gets this spacing between his knees, and that's because he's allowed this right knee to straighten, or he's lost the flexion in his right knee. And when you lose the flexion in your right knee, you tend to disengage the right side of your body or disengage the right glute. You're not able to store as much energy on the right side. You're not as able to build as much torque, getting that separation between the shoulders and the hips going back. So if Ian wants to take over Rory for number 1 and the next Ryder Cup, what he needs to do is he's got to use a little bit more body. And for those of you at home, use a little bit more body. Use your rotation. Use that right side to your advantage. Don't just take the club back with the arms and hands. Use the body to the advantage. Build up some good torque. Build a nice consistent backswing so you can have some good effortless power coming down. So use these keys. Keep swinging well. Look forward to talking to you in the future. For those of you joining us on our YouTube channel, I'm going to include a free bonus video called Keeping the Right Arm Straight to Turn. And in this video, Chuck's going to talk to you about our right arm and its effect on our right shoulder blade and the ability to be able to rotate to the top of the backswing versus just finishing the backswing with the arms. And if you like this video, please click the like button below, and I look forward to helping you all out in the future.
In another video, I talked about how the right arm, the right elbow pit needs to be out away from you to dress and stay that way as you go back. And one of the key aspects of getting a full turn is this guy being in the right position at setup and during the backswing, but also another sensation that a lot of golfers don't have and they lose, and it causes them to not make a full turn and they create a very narrow backswing. A narrow backswing would look something like this. My arms are very close to my body. You can see I haven't made much of a turn, and my right arm is very collapsed. I've got a lot of flexion here. A lot of times the left arm breaks down, and so I've got this really narrow, weak golf swing, rather than having a big full turn and a lot of width where this arm stays straight. And that's what I want to talk about. Once you've got this right elbow in the right position during the swing, the most important feeling for most golfers, and again, a lot of things I do on the website, I'm talking about a broad generalization here. Not everybody's exactly the same, obviously, but to most golfers, they have to feel that this right arm never folds all the way to the top of the backswing, and period. So what happens most times when people don't make a full turn is that this right arm starts folding early. So they go back and